Magnus Hellberg here in Los Angeles with my daily dashboard update on September 13th, 2011. It is a gorgeous day in Los Angeles. It's about 75 degrees right now and sunny. What else is new? It's the same thing. I could say the same thing over and over and again. And I do actually say the same thing over and over again. And we're sitting here on the 405, actually moving, not bad today. Traffic over the hill is okay, not great, but it's still moving. We're in the carpool lane, of course. And I'm here with my good friend Scott Carmody, and we're talking about real estate for a change, and dual agency. And two things that comes to mind. And Scott, what are those two things that comes to mind when you talk about dual agency?
The conversation this morning has not been just real estate. Dual agency. Okay, so dual agency is the legal term for what we in real estate often refer to as double popping, meaning we represent a seller and we represent a buyer on our own property. But dual agency is much more than that. Dual agency, for instance, Magnus and I are with the Partners Trust in Beverly Hills. And let's say that Magnus has a listing with Partners Trust. And an associate, one of our agents from our Brentwood office, represents a buyer and they want to buy the property. That is still considered dual agency because one brokerage represents the listing and the buyer. So dual agency comes into a tricky situation because a lot of times unethical things happen with dual agency. Agents get greedy, or a company will want all of the money brought in, because remember, every time they represent a buyer or a seller, the company gets paid. They want to keep all that money. So there is a possibility that unethical things will happen. Inside information may be used to assure that the deal goes a certain way. So the first thing you've got to make sure when you are talking to an agent, when you want to list your home or buy a home, is you want to make sure they're ethical. That's the biggest piece of advice I will give. Make sure that the company that you're going to use and the agent you're going to use always do the right thing. And you can check them out. You can look on the California DRE website. You can see if they've ever had any violations filed against them. You can look on places like Yelp, and you can just check around for their reputation. Their reputation is critical. A lot of agents, I know Magnus will not do dual agency. He refuses to represent a buyer on his own listing. He just won't do it. And I commend him for that. I will represent a buyer on my own listing, but I will only represent them when I ask them why they want me to represent them. The answer, any answer except for the fact that they think I'm a great agent and they want me representing them, is the wrong answer. When they say, we love the way you work and we trust you and we want to work with you, that's the right answer. Anything else is, I'm not working with these people. Oftentimes, those people want an agent to do something unethical, thinking that they will benefit from it. I could frankly talk about dual agency for at least an hour, and we don't have that much time. So those are the high points of it. Dual agency is when one brokerage represents the buyer and the seller in the same transaction, or when one agent represents their seller and they have a buyer. It's very broad. That's it.
Well, that certainly explains it all. And, well, the reason, Scott, that I don't like to do represent both is really that I don't know how, no matter how ethical you are, no matter how good you are, how you actually can negotiate for two people in the same transaction and do a good job at it.
Let's talk about that a little more.
Well, let's do that tomorrow, maybe.
Got it. Part 2 tomorrow.
Because otherwise this video will be too long. This is Magnus Hellberg at thepartnerstrust.com, signing off from Los Angeles with my daily dashboard update on September 13th. And look for the continuation of the dual agency discussion tomorrow. And this is Scott Carmody at thepartnerstrust.com saying goodbye as well.
Have a great day, LA. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. Take care.
Goodbye.